Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy. My guest today spent over 3 decades as the head trainer for the LA Lakers, witnessing some of the greatest teams in NBA history from what he calls the best seat in the house. His new book covers all of that and a whole lot more. 8-time NBA champion Gary Vitti. That's pretty cool. Yeah. By the way, you get to say you're an 8-time NBA champion.
Yeah, and I never scored a point, got a rebound or an assist, but I have 8 rings to prove I was there.
You were probably responsible, though, for a lot of those points and rebounds and dunks and free throws in a way.
It's not for me to say. I mean, if other people want to say that about me, that'd be great. But I always felt that athletic trainers and therapists shouldn't take any credit for an athlete's success.
Why?
Because the athlete actually has to go out there and put the ball in the hoop or get the rebound or make the assist, make the play. You know, we're just there to help, okay? And hopefully I did that, but I don't really take credit for any of the championships.
I want to talk about Magic Johnson for a second because as a trainer, you obviously were paying very close attention to your players' health at the time. And we've talked a lot about what happened with Magic Johnson, but for you, when was it that you kind of first realized, or how did you see that, okay, maybe something's not right here?
I never noticed that something wasn't right. And to this day, it doesn't look like there's something wrong. Okay?
He never looked fatigued?
I thought
he complained about being tired.
No. Well, they all complained about being tired.
Okay, so it didn't alarm you.
The fatigue had nothing to do with the HIV diagnosis, converting seropositive for HIV. He was 100% asymptomatic. The only reason why we learned that he was HIV positive was because he had a second physical exam done for a life insurance policy. So, you know, when you have a sports franchise, it doesn't sound right, but it is what it is that the players are actual assets, and you have to protect your assets. And so one of the ways you protect your assets, especially, you know, the guys that are making the big money, is you take a life insurance policy out on them in case something happens. Not specifically for HIV, we're talking about car accident, who knows, okay? Well, part of that physical exam that's done by the insurance company is an HIV screening, because we don't do that. We couldn't do it even if we wanted to, because it would be a violation of your civil liberties. If a player wants that, we're more than happy to provide that test. So that's how the whole thing came about. It wasn't because he was tired. It wasn't because he was showing some other symptoms. There was none of that. And
wasn't there a story, though, that he was feeling so fatigued that he wanted to kind of skip out on preseason games? Yeah,
but that had nothing to do with being HIV positive.
Okay.
That had to do with going to Paris to play in the McDonald Cup.
Okay.
And we had 2 more games to play, and he called me. See, that story comes up because it coincides with the timing of the test.
But we're setting the record straight that you never really even saw anything that would give you an indication.
No, it wasn't like he was showing signs and symptoms of something, so I sent him to the doctor and he had a test and we found this out.
Wow.
That, if that's out there, that's completely wrong. That's nothing. He called me up. We had just gotten back from Paris. Everybody was exhausted, jet lag. We had to turn right around and play 2 more games. One in Salt Lake City and one in Vancouver, British Columbia. He said, listen, I really don't want to go. I said, okay, let me see what I can do. I called Jerry West, said, you know, the guy's tired. I mean, we're going to start the season. Better we rest him. You know? Load management is what we call it now. Jerry said, well, Utah's not a problem. He can sit that one out. But he has to go to Vancouver because the game's not sold out. And they're coming to see him. It's 1991.
Sure, you got to sell tickets.
Yeah. So, you know, I tell Magic that, and he says, well, if I have to play in one, I might as well play in both. I said, well, that's up to you. So he comes with us. No sooner do we get off the plane, this is before cell phones, we get to the hotel, I have all these messages to send him home. And it's very cryptic. I mean, nobody's telling me why. You know, well, I can't tell you that. You know, this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I never had that sort of communication breakdown with doctors and Jerry West, our general manager.
They were normally very open with
Yeah,
you. So something was up.
Something was up.
Right.
I called Magic. I said, "What's up?" He goes, "I don't know. I thought you could tell me." Because they didn't tell him either. So we put him on a plane, and when he got back, that's when they told him. And then we played the game, and it hit me on the bench. Because I kept putting it in my head over and over, what could this be? I mean, because all of his test results on our physical exam came back normal weeks before. So if something was up, we would have known earlier. And then it hit me right before we left. He did that insurance physical exam, which required an HIV screening.
And so you kind of knew.
And then it hit me. It was a tough time.
Then there was the incident, the 1992 preseason game, where you had to make a huge decision, and you knew that all eyes were obviously going to be on you. Magic had a scratch, and you had to take care of it. How much pressure did you feel in those moments?
I felt the weight of the world.
Why?
Because it was a situation where I knew there was no way, no matter what I did, I was going to win. If I put the gloves on, I'm sending a mixed message to everyone that I told, you don't have to worry about this. You can't get this disease from Magic Johnson, because this is a little scratch. It's a non-bloody wound. It's a control situation. There's ways that I had already kind of gone through my head, even with our team physician, about how to treat a wound. And, you know, I just didn't need to put those gloves on. But if I don't put them on, somebody is going to make a phone call. And
to the league.
Yeah.
And legally, you were supposed to use gloves?
That was the protocol for the league. And guess who wrote the protocol? Me.
Okay.
So the league asked me to write the protocol for athletic trainers. I even did a video for Health South, which was a big outfit at the time, on how to treat bloodborne pathogens in the workplace. So I actually broke my own protocol, okay? But I did it for the right reasons, okay? Because like I keep saying, it was sending a mixed message to the world.
I get it.
And probably everything would have been fine if Magic didn't retire again. But he saw the same looks on everybody's faces that I saw. And he said, they don't want to play with me. You know, I'm hurting the game. And so he retired. And when he retired, they put him on the front page, but he wasn't alone on the front page. I was right next to him treating the wound. I had a 6-inch cotton tip applicator. I was putting some sticky stuff on. I mean, there's ways to do it. You know, you can, you put some sticky stuff on their arm, you hand them the Band-Aid, you hand them a gauze pad. Say, here, you're bleeding, put that on you. You know, which I did quite often. After that, especially if it was a bloody wound, I'd hand the gauze pad to an athlete, say, put this on your wound. That gave me time to put gloves on. Oh. There's ways to do this.
Sure.
But it shook up the league. David Stern was really angry with me. Took it out on Jerry West. Then was angry, with me.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because you also gave David Stern a lot of credit for educating himself about this.
That's right.
But then he was also very angry with you at the same time.
Because I didn't do what I told him we needed to do in bloody situations.
How'd you settle that with him?
Never did. Some time down the road, we never talked about it again. But sometime down the road, he became much nicer to me. So I don't know if he just forgot about it or got over it. And then I talk about this in the book, that of all the things I have, memorabilia-wise, my most prized possession, when I retired Adam Silver, it's a little emotional for me. Sorry. Adam Silver wrote me a wonderful letter saying that I helped remove the stigma of HIV positive people around the world. It meant a lot.
Why does that mean so much to you?
Because it was such a emotional time in my life when all that went down. First, magic converting seropositive for HIV, and then coming back, and then how I handled it. And, you know, it was a very difficult time in my life.
Check out our YouTube channel, FairGame on FS1 to catch all the best highlights of our show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.